Good afternoon, everyone. Just let you know what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about you, uh, about yourself, about you being good to yourself, being that vibration. Um, there was a book many years ago I read, and the title of the book was just says you. It's all the title said. I have the book here somewhere, but the book was about being good to yourself, being good to you. And when we do this work, when we do spiritual work, when we do that connection to spiritual work, we have to kind of really allow ourselves to be good to ourselves when we're doing this work, to take time to regroup, rebalance, and replenish our vibration as we work with spirit. It isn't like the work is draining. The work should be draining for us, but it is taxing on our vibration. Because if we continually do it without taking time to kind of clear, to regroup, maybe rebalance, maybe get some healing done, get a quiet place to go sit and relax and regroup and rebalance, we allow ourselves to get too frustrated with the work, frustrated with it. So by being good to yourself, and that's through the mediumship, and we're going to talk a little bit about mediumship and move on for that. But when you're doing mediumship, it's allowing yourself to adjust the energy within your being. And I'm going to explain to you how to adjust that vibration, how to adjust the energy in your vibration, is to allow your feet to become grounded onto the earth plane and pulling energy up through your feet, up through the chakras in the base of your feet. Everybody in this work considers the chakras, the crown, the throat, the third eye, the heart chakra, the spleen cycle, the solar plex, and then all the way down to the root chakra. Everybody kind of looks at those seven chakras. But there are two major chakras within the base of your feet, which actually pulls the energy up from Mother Earth into your being. If those chakras are off, it stops the chi a little bit in your body. It stops the vibration of energy flowing within your auric field. So it throws you off. So those chakras should be adjusted every once in a while, adjusted for your well being. And then when you're sitting when you got your feet on the ground, allow that energy to pull up through your being, up through your vibration all the way into your roots and your solar plexus, up to your heart, your throat, your third eye, and out the top of your head. And let it kind of flow down over you, getting yourself that moment of peace, of tranquility as you get quiet and allow yourself to go inward. When I did a big workshop yesterday and talk yesterday at Sun City over in Florida, I was sitting over there and I told people, I said, there are things that we can do for our mediumship, things that we can accomplish with it if we allow ourselves just to be us. And everything about mediumship has more to deal with the individual than it has to deal with the whole idea of mediumship. If we take mediumship and doing psychic work as a whole vibration, we aren't going to get ourselves where we need to be. Being good to yourself, you're not going to get yourself to where you personally need to be. What happens is you allow other energies from other vibrations and other connections that don't really have meaning to you. You allow them to affect you, but allowing you to be for you when you're doing the work. Because there's basics here, and I explain to people we are a channel for spirit. We are not somebody else's channel. We are not a channel for somebody down the street. We are our clear channel for spirit. That's who we are. So we must work on our channel, on our finders. You might be on channel 27. I'm nowhere near 27. I might be on channel 56. Well, not near 27, though. But I can't get to 27 because it's not my channel. And sometimes we try to force ourselves to go in that direction, to be that channel, to be that vibration, to be that connection, without taking ourselves or our vibration in consideration when we do this work. When we do this work, it's more of getting quiet, focusing, vibration in your life. Allow yourself to ask your higher self because no one around you is going to discern the spirit. Person in the office with you, person you're doing healing with, whatever you're doing, no one else is going to discern the spirit with you. So you have to talk to the spirit. We have to speak to spirit. We have to discern them. We have to have that running communication with them. And I don't really care if you don't hear them, you don't sense them, maybe you see them. I don't know. It might have one of the clairs in your vibration, but you got to realize that even if you don't get an answer right away, keep talking. Keep talking to your guides because you're doing affirmations not for the energy somewhere out in the universe. You're doing the energy for the circumference around you, the balance in your vibration. You're doing affirmations to clear that energy. And if that energy grows out away from you and propels itself out away from you, then awesome. Then awesome for that. But you're mostly doing it to clear the energy, to become that clear channel for spirit to work through you. But for the spirit to work through you, you have to remember, you have to clear that energy, discern that vibration, make sure you know exactly who's trying to work through you. But being good to you, being good to yourself, being good to the vibration. As you propel in the work, as you do this work, as you control this work, as you work with spirit, spirit will work with you. They will. I've been doing this so many years now. Spirit will work with me. They connect to me at certain levels, certain vibrations. And I do my best to try to listen to them, to try to hear their vibration as they speak to me. Sometimes I get a little bit wrong. Sometimes I kind of don't understand. Sometimes they're kind of talking too fast or the vibration of the energy is too quick for me. So I have to slow myself a little bit or maybe speed myself up a little bit to try to catch as much as I can of the conversation. And that's what you're trying to do. Connect to that conversation, whether you speed yourself up, slow yourself down, you stop. It's whatever it has to deal with you and the vibration, but allow you personally, where are you? What are you doing? What are you doing with the vibration? You. How do you see it? And whether I teach you mediumship, I teach you how to connect to spirit, it doesn't really matter how I teach you, it's how you receive it. I could teach you something, and somebody in my class will hear something and go, oh, I heard that. I'm going to do that. But you're sitting somewhere over in the other part of the class and you're going, I didn't hear it that way. I heard it this way. This is how I heard it. No matter if somebody says, well, that's not what was said. No, that's the way you heard it. So that's the path I want you to travel on. Not what somebody else heard in the class, but what you heard, what you felt within the class. That's what brings through the true mediumship in working with spirit. Not listening to what everybody else thinks they hear. What do you hear? When I do these classes online here, what do you hear from what I say? What do you take to heart? Thus, the message from Spirit for you. Not because I'm doing it or I'm saying it, it's what that message is for you. What I taught before with working with Spirit, we do start communication, evidence, reason, tell a story. For us, we need to focus as mediums. We need to focus on us, how we're working with spirit. We need to concentrate. We need to concentrate on what's being propelled in our life. So focus and concentration are key within the vibration. They're kind of alike, but you have to work with those two situations. So you can concentrate on what's showing up and what's happening, but also to train your mind. Focusing your mind is not just to focus on something in a room. It is to allow yourself to get yourself out of the way, to quiet that monkey brain, to get yourself out of the way so the spirit can work with you. That's why you focus. You focus on something. You focus on something in the room. You allow yourself to get out of the way to allow spirit to work through you. So you're focusing, but you're also concentrating on what they're trying to say. What are they trying to communicate with you with? Are they really talking to you? Are they conversing with you? Or are you just listening to yourself? Most of the times when we do this whole work, it's more of first thought, first impression. It's what it mostly is in our lives. It's mostly first thought, first impression of something. That gives us our first idea of the journey ahead of us. First thought, first impression of it. Then if it fits you, it fits the vibration for you, then start moving a little closer to get a better view of it. But if it doesn't fit your vibration. I did a reading today with people and she was doing all this stuff. She had crystal balls, she had different things, she had all this stuff. But a lot of the stuff belonged to other people. It didn't belong to her, it belonged to other people. But some people have this stuff. They say, oh, I got my stuff from my mother. I'm going to put it on my table. Oh, I got my stuff from my cousin. Oh, he had something that he used to do the work with. So I'm going to put that on my table. And what we do is we don't scatter the energy, but we're putting things in our working space that has more to deal with somebody else's energy than it has to do with you. And I like to explain that really quick because people got to get an understanding of what that is. If you put a scarf on your table and it's somebody else's scarf, it's your great grandmother. She used it to do readings, and that's her scarf. And she's going to place that, you're going to place it on your table. That scarf does not have the energy of you in it, it has the energy of grandma in it. And if you're like grandma and exactly like grandma and you want to do that vibration, then yeah. But when you do this work, it's setting things in motion that are yours. You go find a scarf that is yours. You personally picked it out. You pick out whatever you want to place on the table, whether it's your tarot cards, your crystal ball, a crucifix, whatever you want to place up there. You place that on your table, but you picked it out. Wasn't your grandmother picking it out 40, 45 years ago? I've got cards from my grandmother that I have. I don't place them in my space. I don't. They're my grandmother's energy. Sure, I pull them out when I'm by myself, and I'll deal the cards out, and I'll throw the cards out, and I ask my grandmother for guidance, and she wants to speak to me, and I deal the cards out. But I don't place the cards out on the table when I'm doing readings. If you want to keep something from your relatives or something from somebody in your room, then you should get those boxes. They have boxes. They don't have to be that big, but they have lids on them, and then you can close them. You can close the boxes. Doesn't get any light in there. Then inside the box, place whatever stuff you want. Your grandmother's crystal ball, your father's crucifix, your mother's little Bible, or a picture of one of your loved ones. Place whatever you want in the box. Close the box. Put the box somewhere in your reading room. The energy will manifest within the box. It will not manifest throughout the room. So what happens is that energy is manifesting within the space, but not right in your space. Then you could put like a piece of paper or a little piece of pencil in there and see if spirit writes you a note from the spirit world. I've had them do that in my office. They'll write little things on a piece of card. They'll write little those things on paper. Spirit has a way of communicating in that vibration. So do that. Place it somewhere in your meditative space. If you're sitting in your meditative space and that box is making all kinds of racket, open the lid up, see if something comes out. Open the lid up. Especially if it's in your meditative space and it's making noise, it means the spirit is trying to get your attention. But a lot of phenomenon is done because of family members, people in the spirit world trying to get your attention. They're trying to let you know that they're okay. So They'll put flowers. They'll drop apports in the room. Things will drop in the room. They'll do all this stuff to just try to get your attention. They'll grow a flower in the middle of a road, in the middle of an asphalt, concrete, just so you could see the flower and go, oh my God, my mother loved those flowers. They'll grow it right out of concrete if they have to, so they can get your attention as you walk by. Birds, animals, all have a connection to spirit because spirit is a way of directing them in front of you. So all these things have a way of connecting to spirit. But you have a way of connecting to you. By being good to yourself, it means that take time with your training. Don't overtrain yourself. Don't overburden yourself with situations in your life. Know that you've been on the path and you're on the path where you should be. Somebody asked me the other day, was our lives predestined to our lives? Are we predestined in our lives? At a certain aspect, we are. If we look back on our lives, we can see where we were supposed to be at a certain given time, a certain vibration within our lives. It was never the destination. It's never that set place in our life. It always has been not that set place, but it has been a journey to that set place. Let's say you have to be in Texas in 2026. You have no intention of going to Texas in 2026. But from the spirit side of life, you made a commitment to affect somebody, cross paths with them, to help them, to encourage them, and then to be there. So then around the time you get ready to go, things start happening. You lose your job, you get a job offer from Texas, different things start happening. Boom, you're in Texas. You weren't planning on Texas, but you're in Texas. But it's how you personally make the journey. It's how we always make the journey in our lives. That's why we are taught. That's why so many people do inspirational things for people. Tony Robbins, all these people that have come up and said to do meditation, to Louise Hayes, and all these people. It is to do that connection of finding you, doing the affirmations, playing beautiful music in the space, changing the energy within your living space, changing the energy for your body. So you might have to go into the public world. You have to run out. We're not in the pandemic anymore, so we got to go out now. So that means we got to go venture into the world. So, but our space, our home space, should be our balance zone. It should be where we play beautiful music, where we meditate and get in contact with God, where we should be balanced within our lives. Sure, we have to go out, but we should be able to come home to a space that we can go. And sometimes we don't have spaces. That's when we need to sit somewhere before we go into work, before we go into a place. Sit and be quiet. Zone yourself. Do some affirmations. Great I am. I am healthy. I am abundant. I am. I am this. I am. And it starts to propel itself in your life. Slowly but surely you start knocking off the edges of negativity within your life until eventually it's this beautiful little ball. But for a while we've got to knock off the edges. We've got to file down the rough edges. That's why our monkey brain thing telling us that we aren't any good, different things going on in our life, things that have happened in our lives. We have to try to sand those down, rough off the edges. That might take you a few years. It might take you a little time to get that energy to where it needs to be in your life. But first start with some kind of music. When we do seances, we play some kind of music in the room. We sing some kind of music, we play some music, we do all this vibration to raise the vibration in the space. So by doing that, by raising the vibration in the space, we make this energy of spirit. We're raising the vibration, but we're raising all of our vibrations to connect to the spirit world. So when you do this or connect to this higher sense of consciousness, allow yourself to find your peace. And you might think, when I'm doing this, Lewis, that's just being selfish. I need to ask for the world. I need to do the world. That's awesome. But if you're this negative energy moving through this earth plane, then how can you affect the earth plane in a very positive energy? And we've known people like that. We've seen people that just, they have this idea or this attitude in their life that you go, whew, wow. And you just want to walk past them. You don't want to deal with them. But it's the energy they're expelling out from themselves. Through the I ams, through meditation, by playing the music in your home, by connecting to your higher self, you allow that positive energy to grow. Sure, it might grow as a small little sliver within your life. But eventually, the sliver will become a board, it'll become a building, it'll become a castle, it'll become a mansion. You will have that. But you have to do the work. Mediumship, spiritualism, mediumship, metaphysics, all of this, it's work. It is definitely work. It isn't like I signed up for a little jaunt in the woods. I signed up for the journey. I signed up for the work. But we don't have to work that hard at it unless you really absolutely want to go to a higher vibration of it. I continually look for the next door to walk through, the next door to peek around the corner. It's not like I'm not satisfied for how far I've come so far, but I can see that I have so far to go. Some of us have come so far, but then we stop. We stay in that little circumference without seeing that we have a piece to go. And my idea is that there's always another door. There's always something else to see that Spirit is trying to show me. And when I do Lucerne, when I trance Lucerne, and Lucerne speaks through me, it is the idea of not Lucerne speaking. Yes, Lucerne will speak to you and he will talk of higher vibrations in the spirit world. But while I am in that vibration, Tobias, different guides from the other side will download information into my being. Then I come out kind of knowing, not knowing this things, but I do have a stronger connection of where we are. And some of the real truths I have for us or you being good to yourself is an understanding, very simply, is that when you left the earth plane, before you left, you sat in circle with your guides. Every one of them was in the room with you. And through that moment that you were on the other side, there are plans of your life laid out on the table. As you ventured over the plans, picked your name, picked your place and city of your birth, picked your birth date, you picked your time of arrival, you did all this, you booked your flight, you signed the lists with your name and all of this, and you came back and you ventured here, somewhere from that table to us being slapped on the butt here on the earth plane. We lost that piece of paper. We don't have it. We have some kind of idea, but we don't have the paper anymore. But the guides do. They still have the contract. And through our lives, through our family and through our lives and through our connections that we chose this lifetime, it places us to where we need to be. We could have picked another lifetime, another group of people, another situation in our life. We would have never crossed paths with the people that we needed to cross paths with. We picked the destinations in our lives. Our destinies have been picked, but the journey is all about our free will and choice, how we make the journey. And I'll tell people that. I feel you might be on a journey right now, might not fit the major direction that you feel is for you, but know that God and your guides, they have a plan. They have a good plan for your life. Don't worry about the destination on the hill. Where are you right now? What can you change right now? Now we're going to change when you get to the top of the mountain. What can you change now to make the journey better for you? Is it affirmations? Is it music? Is it a different set of friends? Different location in your life? More money in your life? What are you really needing at this point in your life that you need to make the journey? We spend so much time in our life figuring out, working on the destinations. So much time in our life working on the destinations in our lives, working on the situations in our lives. We spend so much time doing that and losing track of us, of our well-being. We're thinking we came here to be a scout for everyone else. We got trips down here and we have ourselves our own little pack mule. And we're heading off into the jungle when we really weren't supposed to go into the jungle. But that is where we're heading. So we have to realize that when we head into the jungle, do you really want to be there? It's about you. It's about our vibration. If I wear myself out completely, thinking that I'm the scout, I'm going to get everyone there, and I'm laying unconscious on the path, what happens to me? What happens to my being? You have to realize that you pick the destinations. And I explained that yesterday at a metaphysical church service. I explained that at a metaphysical church service yesterday, that we pick the destinations. We've picked those. We've placed those in motions in our life. It is that journey, that direction that we take from our higher self, our consciousness, our being, of where we feel like we need to be. And sometimes we move, change our life, put things in motion in our lives. It is always that connection that every time we put this in motion, we have an understanding, we have a knowing. My mother used to say, I know that I know that I know. Huh. You have a knowing that, hey, I need to change my life. Oh my God, I need to change jobs. Oh, I need to do this. We have a knowing long before the event starts to unfold. Sometimes we think we're surprised with the events on the path, but sometimes those events have been going on for a while. We've just ignored them. We didn't see them. We didn't want to look at them. But they were appearing long before we got to where we are. I lady said, well, my boss yells at me all the time. Everybody just yells at me, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable where I work. And they're, blah, blah, blah. She just went on and on and on. She goes, well, then the other day they fired me. I'm going, yeah, but this has been going on for like 8 months. Spirit has already been warning you for 8 months that this was going on. This was going to happen. This was going to be put in motion. I have a saying here in Casadega. We should have little T-shirts that have volcanoes on them. A little platform that's over top of the volcano. And if you are part of this organization, or wanting to be part of this organization, you're one of the ones on the top of the volcano. If you haven't been brought to the top of the volcano yet, you haven't been Christian yet, because it means you're going to be sacrificed to the great volcano God. And sometimes we live in circumstances in our lives that at some point in our life, we've got to go to the volcano. We think it's bad, but it's just a rite of passage. We've got to go to the volcano, and then we get pulled out. But we have to realize that sometimes we propel ourselves in a direction trying to please we want in our lives instead of pleasing ourselves. Then understanding what our journey is, what our vibration is. Sure, I know my journey is to teach, to help, to encourage, to bless. But at some point, I have to take time and just take a breath and say, whew, and then move forward again. I know as a teacher, instructor, I'll be doing it on the other side. I'll be over there. Some of you guys will get to the other side and they'll go, "Oh my God, Lou's having a lecture. He's over in the hall." Oh, I'll still probably be teaching on the other side. But the question is why disown myself, disavow my value, and that's when you wear yourself out. You don't take in your value of how much you're worth to the work. If you kind of deplete the vibration and run down a path that doesn't quite fit you, sure, you can pull the pack mule, but sometimes that pack mule bucks, doesn't want to go down the path, but you're still physically pulling up. You want to go, you gotta go, but the pack mule doesn't want to go with you. Everything you're supposed to do is on that pack mule. You have to realize that if you try to pull the pack mule off, then it could stumble and fall, and you'll be laid out for a while. Then you got to figure out, now what am I going to do now? You got to nurse the pack mule back to their health. And that's what we do in our lives. It's this whole vibration. So I said here, I have that book. I'll probably bring it out next week. I'll probably take it with me and go to Maine. But I'll show you. The book is it's an old book. It's not on the market anymore. It's called You. It's just you. That's all it is, just you. And I feel like it's just this vibration of understanding how you can bring prosperity in your life, how you can bring things in your vibration. You're not bringing everything in your vibration that you don't need. You don't. You're not going to get it unless you absolutely are wanting it. You want not what you want, but what you need for the journey. You don't stop in the store and clear every shelf in the store and head down the path. You take from that connection everything you need for the journey ahead. You do not take everything from the shelf. So you're not depleting something from someone else. You're taking exactly what you need for the journey. So if you ask for too much and you get what you get, you go, I didn't get what I wanted, but you got what you needed. You got what you needed for the journey. And that's where we make our mistakes in our lives. We decide, oh, I got this face, I got this body, I got this vibration. This is what I got for the journey. This is it. Now I could spend a whole bunch of money, pull everything up, make it look real pretty, all kinds of stuff. I can change it. But I still have the same body. I've still got the same vibration. I might just look prettier and younger, but I've just spent a lot of money on something that's not going to change because I still have the same vibration. And that's what we have to look at. We get what we need for this lifetime, for the journey we take, for the journey that we're on. So I tell people, don't get discouraged with yourself. Don't get discouraged with the vibration in your life and say, oh my God, this is awful. Oh. Then stop for a moment and look around you. What else is there? What else transpired on the path? Just because my mother used to say, one door will close, Lou, but another door will open. Always look for the open door. Don't keep banging on the closed door because they're not going to reopen it. Just go look for the open door. Go look for that door that got open because the door closed. If you focus your energy away from where the wreck is, you can look at the place that the door's open and focus it in that vibration. Because then spirit brings things. They propel things in your life. They propel things to get you to where you need to be. I'm a very good opponent in my life of repetition. If it keeps going on, the spirit's massively trying to get my attention, I will do that. I think it's cool. I'll give you a little, for instance, while spirit works. My wife rented an office down here in downtown, down in the apartment building. She rented an apartment office. So you got an office for her healing room. So that's great. But when Marie ran her cart into the front of the building and knocked some of the stuff down. So they're repairing it. They repaired it. But right next to the wood, right next to her front door, was this old Band-Aid box. And the Band-Aid box It was an old band paper, but it was from Wayne, Pennsylvania. Marie went to high school in Wayne, Pennsylvania. Went to high school in Wayne, Pennsylvania. So Marie has this whole vibration of said, "Oh, I must be here." It was Spirit's way of telling Marie, "You are supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in that vibration. You're supposed to be in that connection." So you have to ask yourself, when these things happen in your life, happen in your vibration, happen in your connection, there's a method. There's a method to this situation. There's a method why Spirit pushed you there. Especially if you move in somewhere, you go somewhere, and there's flowers. There's flowers that your mother used to love, sitting out in front of the place. There's things happening that their family members had a connection to, and you go, "Oh my God, they're here." Well, Spirit is a way of letting you know that things are in motion. They have a thing of letting you know that. So you have to realize that everything has a purpose. Everything. And we spend a lot of our times down, our heads down, looking at the phone. I still think that in about 30 years from now, our thumbs are going to be about this big, and we're going to be just doing this all day long. Instead of looking up, looking up, looking up to where we need to be, watching what's going on, what Spirit's trying to tell us. Because they won't be able to do it here with our heads down, but looking up to the situation. So it's when you take time for yourself, do walking meditations. I learned how to do walking meditations when I was overseas. I learned how to do walking meditations while I'm walking, doing a walk. Maybe that's something that works for you. Maybe you need to do some kind of meditation with connection to your higher self, your higher vibration. Maybe you need a guided meditation. Maybe you need other things to get you out of the way. But don't give up on doing it. Just try to figure out what works the best for you and go there. Everything, as I said, was placed on that table when you left the earth, when you left the spirit world. You've been this route before. Most of us have been here before. We've been this route. Well, not in the same lifetime we are now, but in another lifetime, doing other lessons, other situations, other vibrations. We know the plan was there, but subconsciously we forget that we signed it, but we know it's there. And our review in the lifetime that we get back, our review is not because of what we did bad. It's if we decided on what we did with the journey. How did we transpose the journey? Did we hurt ourselves? Did we make ourselves terrible? Or did we transpose the journey the best we could? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Or am I doing the best I can at this moment in my life? Allow your guides to talk to you. I allow them to speak, allow them to talk, allow them to try to tell me what they need from me. That's what I do. And I can't teach everybody that. I can't say, "Oh my God, this is the way you should do this." I can't teach you that. All I can teach you is you need to sit, you need to be quiet at least once a day. Doesn't have to be all day, but at least once. Quiet your mind, quiet it. Don't worry about the fish, don't worry about the dishes, don't worry about the pets, don't worry about quiet your mind for at least a few minutes. So it allows yourself to get back into that vibration before you got here. Meditation only gets you to that vibration, that higher sense of consciousness, that feeling before you entered this earth plane. It gets you back to that direction. And the stronger we do it, which is psychometry, the more energy we put into it, the stronger that energy becomes within our lives. I've been in Casadega most of my life. It is not the people here that brings the energy, it's not. It is the energy that's been left here over the years. Everyone leaves some kind of energy. Everybody leaves some kind of energy. But it's not because of just one person or a group of people that caused the energy to be here. It is the energy of the space, the energy of the vibration that's always been happening here. So that brings the energy up in this area, brings it to a situation. And people are drawn here because of the energy of the space. Like they're drawn to Sedona, like they're drawn to Shasta, Mount Shasta out in California, where they're drawn to these spiritual places in the world. It's not the people that are there, that live there. It is the energy of the people that have arrived, left their energy, and ventured off into the world. Their energy is still within the space. Many of the people that lived here are now gone to spirit, but their energy still resides here. It's still part of this organization. It's still part of this vibration. Same thing with your house you buy, the same place, the place where you live. If someone has lived there before, they have left their energy in that space. You can smudge it to hell. You can smudge it all you want. Energy's still there. You might clean the energy. You might readjust the energy. You might bless the energy. But the energy never leaves. You just rearrange it. The energy is still in the space. It's just rearranged. When we do our houses, me and Marie, we fix houses. When we do that, we don't just paint the walls. We put spiritual symbols in the walls. We go through the whole house, put spiritual symbols on all the walls. Then we come back with a coat of paint. Then we paint them. And people walk in our house and go, "Oh my God, Lou, the energy's so good here. It's just awesome here." Yeah, because we put spiritual symbols everywhere. So we know they're there. We know they're all in the walls. You walk in, you say, "Oh, beautiful energy," but it's it's the conscious energy that we did to focus that energy into the space. The same thing with your being for you. It's that energy you paint on the walls of your being, which brings the positive energy out. If you don't do that, then people can disrupt you. They can disturb you. My mother used to say they can be disturbing. So I don't want to ever be disturbing to someone. I want to do my best to try to brighten some kind of path in their life. It doesn't mean that as a teacher, me as a teacher, anybody else who's teaching, anybody around the world teaching, not everybody has all the answers. But between all the people, we have most of them. So if we listen to what radiates with us, think of your life as standing in front of a candy case, and it's loaded with all kinds of different candies. Person talking from behind the counter can talk all they want. You've walked up to the case and you know exactly what piece of candy you want. You don't care about this other candy. You just want that one. Because that is the one you're being drawn to. So you're not going to take all the information for you because it's not for you. You're not going to take everything from the case and everything and say, "Oh my God, that's gospel. I got to take everything." You're just going to take what fits and take it with you. The rest you will leave for others to venture or take hold of, but not you. You'll take what you need. Because when I teach mediumship, when I teach this, that's why I tell people, that's why I teach you rope readings, wax readings, fire readings, ember readings, I Ching, tarot, all kinds of different types of readings. Not because I expect you to do them, take them to heart, but I want you to take the small pieces of it and go, "Ooh, I like that." And you tuck it away on the pack mule. Tuck it in one of the cases on the pack mule. Go, "I'm going to need that later. I get a draw to that." So you're picking up supplies, even though you know that you have a destination in your life, a destiny. Down that journey to that destiny, there's all these little pieces, all these little vibrations on the road. I love telling people when I was in Tibet many, many, many moons ago, they used to have these little places along the road And I ventured it's about 7 miles, sometimes a little longer, but about 7 miles you'd walk. You'd get to the refreshment stand or these places where you could collect water, fruit, something for your journey. And I always thought that of life in our lives. Maybe that's why they placed them about that many miles down the road. I don't know. Maybe it was just a coincidence that every time you walk down the road is so far there was another little stand to collect things. But I bet you that in life is a lot like that. We 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 venture onto these stands at certain points in our lives, and we pick up whatever we need for the next part of the journey. The store or that little stand on the side of the road has everything we need. We just have to ask and be able to receive as we make the journey forward. And if you don't have enough stuff, hopefully a guide or somebody in your vibration will find you on the path and bring it to you. Bring it to you. I laughed when I was walking up a hill one time over there. I had lost my water. I lost it over the side. And about, I said, well, I'm going to have to make a track back. I can't make it to the next place. And this guy just walked up and he says, oh, I noticed you lost your water. Here's some water. I thought I needed more water, but I didn't. So here, I must have got the water for you. And he gave me water. And that got me to the next stand. So the question here is we have to be able to receive what Spirit is trying to give us, but we also have to believe that we're picking up what we need. That's why you asked you. That's why you discern the guides. That's why you talk to them. You discern them. You explain to them what you're looking for. You'll take this or better, but you're explaining them what you're kind of seeing what the picture should be. It might not be the full picture that Spirit wants for you. It's kind of what you see. So you're allowing them to go bring what is best for you. Best. Highest and best. When we do protection prayers, I don't do those. I just ask my highest and best, nothing else. Highest and best for me, nothing else. Why do I have to go through this whole thing of chanting prayers for 20 minutes trying to chase off something? I'm not attracting anything because I'm asking for my own highest and best and nothing else. I already know where I'm going. I'm not going to Scaryville. I am going down my path, heading to the next destination. And that's what we have to realize in our lives. Are you going to the next destination in your life? Are you on the right path for you? You might think, oh, Lewis, I'm here for other people. I am the reincarnation of Mother Teresa. Oh, wasn't that just wonderful? Isn't that just awesome for you? Mother Teresa had a lot of help. She had a lot of people working with her. She had people sending her money, people helping her, people helping her to feed the poor. Mother Teresa didn't do it all on her own. She had other people to help her. So do you have people to help you? Or are you trying to do it all by yourself? You're deciding that my journey, my cross to bear. And that's why I want you to be good to yourself. I want you to be in this work for many, many, many years to come. Not to be just in part of it and then get discouraged and run away. Then you don't come back to it. See, I've noticed in this life, if you tell your guides, I don't want it, I don't care, I don't want it, they take it. And then to try to prop the door back open again, to try to get back in the classroom, ooh, that's hard work. But now you've closed the door, you've slammed it shut. And the Spirit keeps it shut. Then you have to work extra diligently to try to open the door. The guides still work with you. Trying to get back to where you were takes a lot of work. That's why when people have out-of-body experiences, have these beautiful meditations, or they get scared, or they don't want to do them anymore. But then after a few years, they want to get back to where they were. Oh my God, these beautiful meditations. Oh my God, I was there. But then they close the door though. Now you've got to work extra hard and try to get back to some sense of consciousness of where you were. You never leave the path and venture on the path ahead. If you venture off the path, bless you. I'm not going off the path with you. But bless you, you go. But you will not earn the path up the road. That's why people that have deja vu, they come right on back to where they left the path. They stand exactly where they left the path, and then they want to know why things haven't been moving. Because you're back on the path where you left it many years ago. You're back. You have ventured back to your own path. Sure, you took the excursion, awesome for you, but you will venture back to the path. One good rule in our lives, if it's for you, if it's for you, Spirit will move heaven and earth. They will move heaven and earth for you. God, they will do whatever they need to do to get you there. That's part of your destiny. They will move heaven and earth for you. If all hell's breaking loose, walk away. Step back. Step back. If you don't step back, the Spirit goes, okay, you want this, but now we're going to have to start taking you off road. So you don't want to go off road. Unless it absolutely, Spirit will move heaven and earth for you. I'm not going to move in my life until Spirit actually shows me why. Have to show me why. I'll move. I'll go. Marie's already half packed. She's already got things packed in the back room. She's already packed, ready to go. She's just waiting for a sign. so I know that she's ready. But they have to show me to make me ready. Same thing with you trying to find a new path, a new journey, a new vibration in your life. They should present you with a plan, a feasible plan to get yourself to that part of the journey. It should be feasible. Not something that's going to scare you when you get halfway up the path, but be feasible for you to venture in that direction. That's why they will move heaven and earth for you. And by being you, by being your vibration, you're not going to change this. You're not going to fix this whole thing and go, oh, no. Keep yourself out of the outback. Don't venture into that situation unless you're absolutely going down to save someone. But set a time limit. Say, guys, I will do this. But you've got 4 months. 4 months to make this happen because whew, don't open-end the situation and go, okay, whatever you guys feel right. No. Give it a time limit. Talk to them. Explain to them what you're looking for. Don't tell them that you're like, oh my God, Lou, I'm just going to just let them just have their way with me. No. It's not what it's supposed to be. I explain to people when they do this work, Spirit is in spirit. They have passed to the higher side of life. I am still alive. I am what we call a scout. You're a scout. We have ventured onto the surf planet. Some of those people on the other side were too chicken to come here. So they're on the other side. They're our guides. They're supposed to help us, not discourage us, not to stop us, not to hurt us, but to help. And if we have guides and people around us not helping us the way they should help us, then we'd have to have a discussion with our guides. Say, okay, guys, this isn't working. These individuals I have in my life right now are not working for me. I'd like you to show me where you would like me to be. Then watch. Usually it takes, I always tell people, it takes about a couple of months. Not a couple of months, a couple of weeks for that Spirit to answer you. A couple of weeks. Maybe sometimes less. They'll bring situations in your life to show you. A job will be offered. You'll be transferred somewhere else. Things will happen in your life. Things will happen. You'll go, oh my God, that was a big change. I have a friend now that she's out here now, and there's a big change in her life. She was home, had a home, and all of a sudden she's homeless. And everything kind of started falling into place to get her back on her feet. But when it was happening, but everything started to fall into place for her. Spirit is a way of allowing things to click for us. Click. And out of the work, doing this work over 60 years, I know that Spirit sometimes has a sense of humor. They do. And sometimes they get a big laugh, big giggle out of what's happening in our lives, big giggle. But understand that I told people the other day, I'm going to do a lecture about it here one time, that over on the other side, they lit a candle. It's like a 7-day candle. It has to burn through all these colors. And somebody lit that as we read our plan. And the colors are different interviews. You see some rainbow colors during the thing. But our rainbow colors, our candle is different than other people. It has different colors in it. It's our candle. And someone is tending that candle as we are here. They're tending to it. They're seeing exactly what level it's burning through at this moment. That associates yourself when you look at the astrology charts and different things with astrology. We're moving through a part of the universe right now. We're moving through a part of the universe right now that we were moving through 200 years ago. We're moving through that part of the universe. The numerology, the astrology, all this stuff in our life have a meaning to us. Have a meaning. And I've always told people, we do numerology, we do the vibration of numerology, but as long as you understand one aspect of numerology, you picked your name. You might not like your name, you might think it was awful, but you picked it. You picked your place and city of your birth, city and state. You picked it. You picked where the mothership was going to drop you. You picked your date of your birth. You picked that. And you picked your time of your birth. You picked all this. If you add all those together in numerology and add all of it together and break it to single digit, you now have your world number. You have it. Something in your life should be above that number. Not everything below it. You can't be a 6 vibration, living in a 6, working in a 6, doing everything, and then be this really high vibration. I tell people in Casanova, Florida, it's a 4. That's what it is. It adds up to 4. It's a 4. That's where I live in Florida. I live in a 4. 4-house, poorhouse. 4. I'm a 6 vibration. My wife's a 6. We live out of a 6 house. Our life works pretty well for us because it is propelling us, not dragging us. But if we lived in a 4 building, a 4, and our house number added up to a 1, we worked out of a 1, we lived in a 4, and both of us were 6, things might not be working well. Because now we're pulling everything, something is not pulling us. There's little things you can do in your life to rearrange your life to make it very, have angels sing. And if you don't want angels to sing, at least you get the baritone to sing. At least get somebody to sing. Because I feel like you need that in our lives, through that meditation, that quiet. But if I could get most people to figure out what their world number is, then look around their life, add up where they live, add up their address of where they reside, whatever the city and state where they live at this point, and the job numbered on the front of the building of their job, something in that vibration should be above your world number. It works. It just fits the vibration. You have to realize that because there's so much stuff that we can control in this lifetime. We can control where we live. We can control the numbers of where we reside. We can control our health vibration. If we don't wait till we get too sick, better to ask for health than to beg for it. Better ask for prosperity than to beg for it. Because your mind plays tricks on you. See, when you have it, you go, yeah, pretty healthy. I just like perfect health, spirit, perfect health. Now you're asking. But then when the doctor gives you bad news, now all your mind starts playing tricks. You go, oh my God, I can't be healthy. Oh. Now your mind is going off in a whole different direction. You want a relationship in your life? Think back in your life when you had a relationship that was nice. If you never had a really good relationship in your life, try to get back to a past life. You've had one back there somewhere. If you don't have money in this lifetime, go to a past life. You had money in a past life. You're healthy in a past life. Had extraordinary relationships in a past life. You were well known. You were special. Go back there. Don't beat up this lifetime. Maybe you had a slow start. Maybe it's a slow start in this life. It doesn't matter. But it's what happens today. It was not what happened yesterday. What happens today, and where's your forward motion today? So I hope this helped you today and have you understand that you are in control. You, of you, not spirit, not some dark energy on the other side or some craziness. You are in control of you. And if you allow yourself to understand, you might like the world number, put that in motion in your life, go, oh my God, that works. You might like other things I say. You might not like everything I say, but most of it, I want you to understand that you are supposed to find your passion. You for you. Whatever that passion is, follow that passion. And it should work very well for you. Remember, next week, I will be doing the lecture from Maine, outside of Bangor. So I'll be doing it from the hall or possibly the big church up there in Bangor. So you'll see in the background the church, or you'll see something up there wherever I can get the Wi-Fi or wherever I can fit vibration. So I'll be doing it from Maine next week. So tune in for that. I might get some guest speaker to talk to. I get somebody to speak up there. So remember the 5th, we aren't going to have class. I'll be flying back. It's kind of hard to do it on a plane. So I'll be flying back from Maine. So we won't be doing it on the 5th. But I want to thank you guys. Remember, this is going to be posted on my YouTube channel. So if you didn't get all of it, it'll be posted and it'll be posted on YouTube. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank D.
Great script.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.